Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Killer Collab Podcast. My name is Tony from Florida, Tony D. As always, right now, Chris Lato from Reaper Films behind me.
I'm usually to your right.
Now you're behind me.
No, I used to be to your left. Now
Far
I'm behind
left.
you.
Used to be my far left.
Yeah.
Now you're right behind me.
I'm not sure
I can turn my head. There you are.
setup.
There's your head. Right there.
It's growing out of your shoulder.
Yep. It's like,
I'm not sure about
Speaking of
this
heads,
thing.
there's a head standing on that table right there. That's weird. It's a good-looking head, though.
Yeah,
It's a very good-looking head.
let's not.
I wonder who that is. I'm just curious. It's very good looking though. Very striking young man. Used to own that head. Mr. Sean Donahue from Gator Blade. Yo. Now in the studio. We usually have you over the phone.
I think
with
is
some
this my
terrible
third
signal.
the third time.
Third.
First time went terrible. It was bad. I think you were still kind of setting up, and I think I was one of your first guests.
Yeah.
And then last time I thought went pretty good.
Yep.
But this is the first time I'm actually in the studio.
In the studio. What a change.
Live and in person.
What a change. It was a commute long.
It was about an hour drive. That's probably why I
Yeah.
don't just.
Well, you pretty
because
much
I
live
know
an
you guys
hour from
kinda live
everywhere.
close to
Yeah,
each
he lives an hour from everything.
Yeah.
Like you want to go to Wawa? It's an hour.
I don't live an hour from me though. Like to me, I'm close to me.
Yeah, if you
That
don't
makes
go
sense.
anywhere. If you don't go anywhere
He's
and have
close
no
to the
life.
woods. And there's a
Right.
golf course down the street.
That's
So
creepy.
he's
What
close
we
to the
got.
woods and golf course.
That's creepy. Where you live in what? Ruskin?
It's Ruskin, Florida.
Oh. It's like a swamp.
The armpit.
I
of the
mean,
universe.
honestly, when I first moved there, because I grew up in Miami, so I'm used to busyness, commerce, people everywhere. And when I first moved there, it was definitely a change.
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't want any other. I like that there's nothing around, nobody around. It's quiet. I hate just people.
I'm the
So,
opposite. I
yeah.
grew up in Tampa, a big city and whatever, and when we moved out to Brooksville, I fucking hated it.
Like, I'd like that. I'd like.
I hated having to drive like 40 minutes to get to the store.
That doesn't bother me, but I just like
So stupid.
places like this. I just don't drive.
I want
Because
to
it's so far. It's like that's
I
not
want
my
to get
reach.
in my car, be there in 3 minutes, get out, get my shit, go back home, and I'm done.
Yeah, I need short commutes. I need like under 30 minutes. Like I can't drive for a long period of time, or else I hate life.
I need quiet. Like quiet is more important to me than anything.
If you got to pack a lunch to go somewhere, I'm out.
or just a pack of food, just sit in traffic, or for an hour drive. That's just annoying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. But we had, what was the event that we had recently, Sean?
It was
4th of July.
Tony's Buck Wild Bonanza, and it consisted of Tony and Leader. He was in Lederhosen, and we had like some Budweiser girls, and they did like a quartet thing.
Yeah, we did it.
I was the choreographer of it.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people showed up. I think maybe Lato was there and a couple people.
Well, that was
very
specific.
popular.
That was specifically for you, so you can look up my skirt. So I was just wanted to make sure, I wasn't really wearing anything underneath, so I wasn't wondering if you were just not saying anything or just enjoying the view. I wasn't sure, so I was just curious.
No, on the real though, Tampa Bay Screams.
Screams.
What happened? I'm wearing the T-shirt. So it's if you're not familiar with it, it's a horror convention I started in 2016, and we just had our 7th. And it went really well. I didn't have such a great time because I'm the guy who has to deal with all the BS that goes on behind the scenes, and there was just a couple situations. But
You need to hire a coordinator.
yeah, I've talked to someone about that. So they just basically eat all the crap, and I just watch it go down.
Yep.
But every year, that's the thing. Every year is a learning process. It's like what went good, what didn't, what should we improve upon, But the feedback I got from the people who went and a lot of the vendors, they said it went good for them. So that's what matters.
It was definitely fun. It was definitely a good time. We did a show from there. Actually the last show that we posted was the one before that was on there. From Tampa Bay Screams. We had pretty good guests from there. We just pulled people from the what are they
Who was
called?
around?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we pulled Carl, Sushi. What was her name? The other young lady's name?
Nicola.
Nicola.
Fiore, Dustin Hubbard, Chris Woods.
Yep. So pretty good.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
You just like you were just doing the show and like, hey, you.
Hey,
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
I think you tried to do that with me, and I wasn't, and I was like, I just don't have the time right
I
now.
went around and just asked people if they wanted to do it.
But it was definitely a good time.
And then we all got COVID. Woohoo!
Yeah, let's
Chris
not
got
talk
COVID.
about that.
Chris got COVID, so
So did I.
really,
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
like
people.
a good 10, 15 people that I know of got it.
yeah, I'm surprised I didn't get it.
I know, I am too.
It was weird because I mean, some people that were in contact with the people that they just got lucky, you know. And that was my first time getting it. And
How did it feel?
really not that bad. I mean, you know, it wasn't like an enjoyable time, but I think I was more worried about it, and it was literally a 3-day cold.
Yeah,
It was just a really bad cold.
you're vaccinated, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, had I not been, I don't know what it would have been like, but supposedly now I'm good for 9 months. You
Yeah.
know,
I
according
got
to
it
what I read.
last year, and I had one rough night.
Oh, so you actually caught it too?
Oh yeah, last year.
You probably got that's the worst variant I think was going around last year.
Yeah. I just got the really bad chills. Like I could, no matter what.
Were they multiplying?
Yes. Let's age yourself a little bit. But John Travolta. Anyway, so the chills you just could not get rid of. Like no matter what, how many blankets you put on something, you could not get warm. Like it was brutal.
I had that for one night, and that usually signifies that I have a fever. So I got up at 3 a.m. and I took a couple Tylenol and I just put my robe on. I got it on the sheets and I just worked it out.
Yeah.
Did you get the chills at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Body aches.
Oh yeah.
Fever.
The worst symptom
snotty
for me
nose.
was like I just pressure in my sinuses,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
head, which led to like headache.
Mhm.
It was like I had a hangover headache, but I hadn't had anything to drink, and it was just weird.
Yeah,
But I'm
I had
glad
the
it's
same
over, and obviously I survived.
Yeah. Aside from the chills, I just got weak. Like after
Yeah.
that, I was just weak. I did not feel like doing anything.
That's
I
like,
couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't.
I mean, I feel completely 100% back to normal now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm like nothing like it didn't happen.
Yeah, I was out of work for like 5 days, but that was
Freaking out
by
a little
law.
bit because I got to take we're leaving on our cruise Friday. I got to take a test. COVID
You'll be
test
negative.
on Thursday.
So that was one
Oh,
weird thing. So I got it on like Tuesday, and then I tested myself when it came up positive. So then by like Thursday I felt fine. Like I just So then Sunday I tested myself because I had to go to work on Monday, and I was still positive. I'm like, it scared me because I was I'm like, well, I feel like I feel now, and I'm still positive.
Yeah.
But then I think I tested myself then on Tuesday, and then it was negative. So, and I think that's how it spreads a lot. Is people think, oh, I'm fine now.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's when it's most contagious. Like I'm great. I'm like I feel fine. I'm still positive, but I'm gonna go out.
Exactly.
So that's when it's
Well,
spreads.
what's weird is my girlfriend was sick too. We were both sick, and she tested negative. I tested positive. So
I think
those
sushi,
tests
like
are-
sushi. Remember, she like was
I don't
supposed
think
to.
she was
I think she kept testing negative, but I think she got it, man.
Yeah.
'Cause she was around all of us.
I think she needs to eat meat. I think that's what it is.
She's just sick because she doesn't eat meat.
I'm
Well, I can
depressed.
see
I
that.
have no motivation.
Vitamin B12, man.
No energy. Yeah, eat a steak.
Yeah, like I can't understand vegetarians or vegans. Like,
I don't know.
how do they do that? How do they survive? How do they get the nutrients?
I have no idea.
To
How can you
just
find
function.
different things to eat?
My stepmother is a vegetarian. I lived with her from age 12 to 18, and I'm not a vegetarian. My dad's not, and she finds a variety of stuff to eat. She makes it work, and some people that's their thing.
And
I
to be
don't
able
know.
to do it.
So what movies you got working on right now? You working on something else? You got a script going out?
So recently we had a documentary come out that I made, Blood, Guts, and Sunshine, and this is the Indiegogo release. We're having a release through Vinegar Syndrome. It's putting out a physical, and it's also streaming on Troma now.
Do you have a link for sales for the DVD? Or Blu-ray?
I mean, if you go on Amazon, you can buy the DVD. You can't buy the Blu-ray because Vinegar Syndrome's putting it out. But if you go on Amazon and just type in Blood, Guts, and Sunshine documentary, you'll find the link to buy the DVD. Or if you have, like I said, if you have Troma now, you can stream it.
All right, I'll put the link in the description.
Yeah. So, and this went really well. I was really happy with the result and the feedback that we got. We won Best Documentary at T-Buff here in Tampa. And I think it's one of the best things I've put together since I've been doing this. So I'm really happy about that.
Now, is it full of featurettes? Is it a documentary?
The doc's about 2 hours, and then we got the Satan's Children panel. So Satan's Children is a horror movie that was made here in Tampa in the mid '70s. So we had some of the actors from that at Tampa Bay Screams. They did a panel discussion, so that's on here. We got the Grindhouse Video tour, which Grindhouse Video was a video store here in Tampa that sold DVDs, Blu-rays, VHS. They're not here anymore, but it's in the documentary.
Yep.
And then Scott Tepperman, which is one of the interviewees we had, he's got his home video store that he's created in his house. It's all old VHS. It's really cool, so he takes you through there. And then we just have a bunch of movie trailers from some of the movies we talked about in the
home
doc.
video store. Like, does he rent?
Well, he doesn't rent it to people, but it's set up like he's got a kiosk and a computer, and it's like it's like 80s, so it's like one of the old school computers. And it's all everything you remember going to the video store in the 80s. Yeah, it's badass. So that's that. And more recently, I worked on Chris Lato's movie, The Cheerleader Sleepover Slaughter, and that's going to be released soon.
I just watched it.
Cool. And then he's got a new one coming up we're going to be working on. And then I shot a movie, or I directed a movie called Satan Lives, The Rise of the Illuminati Hotties. And
is that the one I'm into?
You're in it.
Okay.
Chris Lato's in it too.
Mr. Pizza Man.
Right. So that's in post right now. So me and Chris Woods are working on it. We actually cut the trailer this past weekend, so I'm going to be doing an Indiegogo for that pretty soon.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I didn't see the whole script on that, so I really don't know what it's about.
Well, the script was really short, so you probably
Sean
didn't see
doesn't
it.
know what it's about.
Yeah. No, and so it's...
What was that, 23 pages?
So, yeah, I think it was about that. So the movie, originally when I wrote it, it was just called Satan Lives, and I had it written for my friend, Eight the Chosen One, was going to play Anton LaVey. Like, I wrote it as this Anton LaVey character. So he dropped out for religious reasons.
Oh, boy.
And I wrote the script around him because he actually looks like the guy. He looks like Anton LaVey, and I'm like, I can't make this movie without him. So I started talking to another actor, Jason Crow. He's from out of town. He's in a lot of indie stuff. He's a really nice guy and a really great actor. And he was into it, but there was one small thing that it just wasn't working for me. He's got long hair, and I wanted the character to be bald because Anton LaVey's bald. It's how he looks, and he wouldn't shave his head. So I was like, it's just not going to work. So then I started talking to another actor named Slake Counts, which is an actor I worked with on my movie Joe Vampire. I worked on a stage show with him called Splatter Theater, Cannibal Claws, and a couple other things. Really great guy and another amazing actor. And his mom got really sick, and he had to go take care of her. And it was right when I was putting the project together, and he dropped out. So I got to the point where I'm like, well, I've already got other people on board. I've got locations set up. Like I got to get someone in the hot seat. And I even debated whether I should do it. I'm like, well, I know the scripts. I'm not my favorite actor that I would want, but I need to do it. and then for some reason, my buddy that I've worked with 100 times, Bob Glazier, he popped in my head, and he was a little older than what I wanted. Bob's an older guy.
I would have shaved my head. Actually, I had a shaved head like
once
a month ago.
we colored his beard in, and he was honestly, I should have made that choice. He was the best guy for the job. Like
nice.
he had the look. And it just, because he's older, it just gave it a certain kind of feel, and he knocked it out of the park. He did a really good job.
Very nice.
So,
very nice.
Happy with his performance. I hope he is.
And then that was Satan Lives.
Satan Lives, The Rise of the Illuminati Hottie. So once 8 dropped out, I altered the script and, added the Rise of the Illuminati Hottie. So I kind of shifted some stuff around and moved some stuff around and changed the story. And it centers more around the 2 female leads in the movie, played by Sushi and Jessa Flux, that we flew in from out of town.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob is kind of interwoven into their story. So it's really it's one of those movies I think people are going to watch, and they're probably not even going to know what happened.
Is it campy?
It's really.
I mean, no, I know my character's campy.
So what I was going for on this one. And this is a really hard thing to do because you can't do it. It's one of those things that happens. I was going for so bad it's good. So I just wrote ridiculous stuff that almost Chris is gonna hate it because he's always trying to make sense out of things. It doesn't make sense. Like the movie does not make sense.
But then again, he doesn't like movies with like deep stories and deep cuts. So he's a very simple story movie type of person. So
It's gotta make sense.
So I don't know.
Simple.
I mean, the
making
audience
sense.
that I have that likes a lot of my stuff, I mean, I think they'll like it because I mean, there's nudity, there's gore, there's a strip club, there's there's fun things. So I think my crowd will dig it, but the average viewer will probably watch it and not understand it and think it. So also too, we're making it shot on video, like it's gonna have the shot on video look, and that's a really smaller crowd too. That a lot of people watch like, why would they want it to look degraded? You know, it should be in HD and da da da. I want it to look like it was shot on a home video camera.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
What was the thought behind that?
I like those kinds of movies, and plus the movie is set in 1992, and it's about two documentary filmmakers, so that's the equipment they would have had.
Yeah.
So that's why
Gotcha.
we want it to look that way.
Interesting. Look at you thinking in depth and thinking like to be period regular or period specific.
Right. With that being said, and I'll put it out here now, and I'm going to be talking about it more, and nobody believes me, and it probably isn't, but I'll say this: this is my last movie for a while. It's the last movie I want to make for a while, and I'm still working on a couple people's projects, but as far as directing, producing my own project, it's coming to a close, and it's not because oh man I hate making movies and stuff like that. It's at the end of the day, I hate to really say it, it boils down to money. I put these projects together, I fund them, I put them together for a couple $1,000s, and they only bring in a couple $1,000s, and I've done this is my 13th movie. I've done this 13 times, and you just get kind of burnt out on it. So rather than just keep pushing that, I'd rather just step away for a while, kind of see what happens in the industry, see where things are, and then when I'm excited about it again, like I was in the beginning, then it'll be time to come back.
So. Like me, I took 5 years off.
Yeah, and
Now
you're
raring
Mr.
to
like
go.
Sean, I want to make this, I want to do this, and I'm like, I'm
raring to go.
not into it.
Hey Chris, what's the over under that he's going to call you with an idea in the next 6 months about a movie?
The next 6 months?
Yep.
I'm gonna say the next 3
I don't-
weeks.
I mean, the difference this time. I mean, I've said it a few times, like this is my last movie, but I've always had like things in the back burner.
Something's
things I
gonna
kinda
pop
wanna
in
do.
his head.
Yeah.
I don't
he's
have
like,
anything in the back burner. Like I've done just about everything I want. You know what I want to do? I want a big budget. Is what I want.
Everyone wants a big budget.
Yeah, like give me that, and then I'll be excited again.
What would your thought of a story for a big budget?
I mean, a big budget to me isn't even that much. I tried to
What's
raise
a big budget?
Well, like I said, a big budget to me, I don't think is that much. I tried to raise $10,000 for Naked Cannibal Campers 2.
Yeah.
And that was one of our more popular movies. And Chris and I thought this was, in the
Slam
bag,
dunk.
like there should be no problem.
Yeah.
And we had, we had Felissa Rose on board, we had Sushi on board, we had some other people attached to it, and they were all excited about it, and that was a pretty successful project for us. And we launched the campaign, and we gave it our all, and we just fell short. And I told Chris, I'm like, look, I'm not touching this movie for less than $10,000 because, again, I'll be like, I'll be shortchanging what I want to do, And it's not that like I want $10,000, I have $10,000. I needed $10,000 to make that movie that we wanted to make
For that specific script.
for that exactly. Like that's how I wrote it. And I've seen other guys do pre-campaigns. And it's like it just happens, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And some of them, like I said, I've made 13 movies. It's like their first or second movie, and they'll just bring in like 30, 40 grand. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong here? You know?
Well, what do you use to advertise? Facebook?
I mean, all the, social media platforms, say, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I do a MailChimp. When I'm doing conventions, I tell the people about it. And I mean, I have a small audience that always donates every campaign, and they donated to that one. And I think the problem is there's probably people out there that would be interested in one of my films, but they just don't know about it. And that's the challenge.
That's the key, is trying to get a reach. Like I think of all the people in the world that like those kinds of movies, we've probably hit like 0.5% of them.
Yeah.
And the trick is to get 20-30% of those people in our
How
back
big of
pocket.
how big of a audience do you think it is? Like, what?
Oh, I know what it is. I mean,
I'm
I'm
asking specifically.
There's hundreds of
well, I've
thousands
had
of
this.
people
I've
that
had this
like
conversation with Chris. So I've been doing it now. I think for about 12 years.
Yeah.
And we've had some people that come and go.
Yep.
We've had some people that stick with us, and then gradually there's new people that trickle in. So when I do one of these Indiegogos, this is the best way to gauge it. I have about 50 to 60 people that buy whatever I make, whatever it is, guaranteed they buy it.
Yeah.
Okay? Then I have about 300 people that are kind of sometimes.
Okay.
And then as far as how many people have actually seen my movies, a few thousand, low thousands have actually seen one of my movies. So that's my audience. A couple thousand people even know or aware of what I've done.
So what do you think the potential is for that particular?
Well, I know
audience?
the potential.
there's hundreds of thousands of people out there that like this kind of movie.
Yeah.
What are
It's just a
what are they
matter of
on?
opinion.
What are they?
We got some. I happen to bring. So we got. So this is the Naked Cannibal Campers. This is the Blu-ray.
I was in that.
Tony was. This is Tony's head was in it. So the one thing that's I think different about my movies than your mainstream horror movie is my movies have a tendency to have an excess amount of gore and an excess amount of nudity, and usually together.
Yeah.
And I like it because I'm so desensitized to horror. I've been watching horror movies since I was 4 years old. So for me, this is normal, but for the average Joe that would see something like this, and they would think I'm a psychopath.
Here's the thing: like, how many times does somebody, like, someone would make a movie called Naked Something? Okay, naked girls on chairs. Okay,
Right.
so you're gonna expect to see what? Naked girls on
Right.
chairs,
Yep.
right? But you end up renting the movie and you're watching it, and there's like no nudity at all in this movie.
That's
The
happened
difference
before.
is we deliver.
Yeah,
like, we
there
call
it
it
is,
Naked
the
Cannibal
Campers.
There are naked cannibals in this movie, like a lot.
There's no
There's a
one
lot
that
of
said,
nudity.
well, they didn't deliver on. I mean, I think they're naked more than they have clothes.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
So
I
we
see
deliver.
movies all the time
I think that
you're
title hits
expecting.
the nail on the button.
Right.
And then, I mean, even Dida Delta Pi, which is a little more mainstream, but for what it is, it's more graphic than a mainstream movie.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched that one. I haven't. Had
That's
time.
one of our. This
That's
isn't
probably
Chris,
our most popular.
this
one.
isn't Chris Lato's biggest budget, but this is my biggest budget movie. And when I made this, at that point, I was like, all right, next thing I do, I want a bigger budget, and everything gradually just went down.
Yeah.
After that. With that being said, I'm happy about this, and this one's reached the most people out of anything we've done. It came out at the right time. We got when DVDs were more popular, we were in Meijer stores. I think
they
we were
had
in
a
some
they had
FY
a
stores.
Halloween display that they would
The
put
Halloween,
up.
and Meijer's not here in Florida, which sucked because Chris. One of Chris's goals, he wants to go to the actual store and hold the movie and be like, "Hey, I'm in the store." So it did reach some stores. It was in Fry's and FYE.
I didn't know they were still around.
Well, this is back in
Well, they
2012.
just opened
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
They just opened the FYE.
It's so
at
weird.
Citrus
You've been
Park.
in one of those now?
They just opened it at Citrus Park.
It's so weird now. It's almost no physical media, and like
Yeah.
it's pop.
That's what I'm saying.
albums.
Like, how do they
Yeah.
still have those?
It's all record albums.
Because it's other stuff. It's almost like Spencer's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's everything else that's
They have
related.
some
Spencer's
DVDs,
used to
but
be
it's a lot
so
of clothes
much cooler.
and action figures,
Right.
and they have a ton of vinyl, a lot of anime stuff,
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Like
Basically, pop culture store, basically.
So while we're talking movies still,
Oh.
so this is Dead Residents.
I'm in that
So
too.
this is where we met Tony. I think he tried out for the lead, and for one reason or another, we didn't want him as the lead. So we gave him a small part, and then he actually was part of the crew. And he
Well, we
helped out.
wanted Tony to be more on the crew side of things.
Right.
Right.
But I think he wanted.
They said I had a face for radio,
Yeah.
so I just
You had a face for behind the
And
camera.
I mean, you were there, and so this
my head sitting right there.
So this is the first time Chris and I had ever made a found footage movie, and at the time, found footage is kind of it kind of came and went, but it was still, still popular. So we thought we really had a chance with the movie. And this movie, it did okay. A lot. The funny thing about it, everyone likes it more than me and Chris.
Right.
Yep.
And I think the problem is we just don't like found footage.
Yeah,
And
it's a niche. It's a niche.
and this one we tried to make more mainstream. Like it's probably my least graphic movie, and it got on more platforms because of that. And that
Yep.
was kind of the goal with it. So
Right.
so a lot of people they discover my movies from this movie, which is interesting. They'll like, okay, and then they'll watch something else. Like, whoa, that's not what I was expecting.
Hello.
Yeah. So, and then even, more recently, I mean, this is not before Cheerleader Superstar, this is the last feature Chris and I made, and this is a Pulp Fiction.
That's the last one we did before Cheerleader.
I mean, we did the Sushi's.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that a movie. I mean, this is the movie. So this one, I was playing golf one day, and I had like my phone was playing movie tunes, and it started to play the theme for Reservoir Dogs. And it got like just Quentin Tarantino in my head, and I've always I like a lot of his stuff, and it hit me. I don't know, it hit me. I'm like, I got it, and I literally called Chris at the golf course, and I was like, how about a movie about Maynard and what's the other character? Zed. Duh.
Womp, womp,
and
womp.
they're in the pawn shop, and they're luring people in, and they're killing them, and they're taking their money. It's basically the whole movie centers around them, and we make it a horror movie. We change their names, we change some stuff so we can get away with it. And Chris, so what at the beginning of the conversation, I said to him, I was like, this is the best idea for a movie I've ever had. And I told him about it, and he said the same thing. Like, we both thought this was the best idea we ever had. With that being said, the movie was not a fail, but it did okay.
I would figure that I'm in that movie too.
Just for the budget.
I just wanted to say that, like, I'm surprised that one doesn't get more attention just by the name of it.
Well, so funny.
Well, it hasn't even
it hasn't really gotten
been
out
released.
there yet.
Like, we just got it on.
I just got contact. Well, it's not even there yet. It's going to take a month.
Well, that's on Plex. It's on
Plex. It's on a couple of streaming platforms, and it's going to hit Tubi at the end of the month. So it really hasn't even gotten out there yet. But my aggregator told me, he's like, I think this is going to do really well.
Yeah.
Because people know, like, you look at that cover.
Oh yeah.
You know what that is.
Right.
Yeah.
And Tarantino's got a big following, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
we will.
I mean, I'm not a Tarantino fan.
I know you're not, but a lot of people are. Me and Chris are.
Well, I know.
And that's why. And I think, like Chris was briefly touching on, for what we did for the budget we made, I think that is our lowest budget for me and him putting a movie together.
Says a lot.
We really got a lot of stuff in there, and we got a lot of Easter eggs.
Oh man, that thing's full of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, like me and him were just spitballing back and forth. And the whole I had fun making that. I had fun writing it with him. I had fun making it.
It was definitely fun.
It was a fun project.
Like when we were writing, it was like Sean would write a scene, then I would write a scene, then Sean would write a scene, I would write a scene, and it was like the way it all came together. I don't know, it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
and then we built a pawn shop. My dad had a listing. He's a realtor. He had a listing for a building, and the people said, yeah, you can use it to shoot your movie, and so we basically built a pawn shop out of just shit that we have laying around.
We literally said, I'm like, okay, what junk do you have lying around? I'm like, okay, I got a football, a baseball bat, some tapes, some CDs. And Chris is like, okay, I got some stuffed animals, some books. I was like, all right, do you have a shelf? He's like, yeah, I got a shelf too. I was like, all right, we'll bring all this stuff here. And one day, I think we built the shop.
We found a couple display cabinets.
Those were a pain in the ass.
Broke our back.
Yeah.
Pulling into
that's what makes
right.
We had to have it. And given, it's a little barren, but considering, that shop was built for no money.
Like, I think we spent like 50
bucks
on the shelf, on the display case. That was it.
Everything else was just our junk. And everyone worked really cheap because we told people, like, look, we don't have a lot of money for this movie. So I think everyone, not that we pay a lot anyway, but everyone worked for less. Yeah. And one thing that saved us too, so there was this sandwich shop right down the street. For some reason, they're in like the Bermuda Triangle. They're still like stuck in the 80s. They sell these Cuban sandwiches for like $4, like these and I'm like, you can't find that anywhere.
I wonder if inflation.
I just ate there last week.
Are they still cheap?
Oh yeah, it was like $5.
It's so I don't know how they stay in business.
I don't either.
I guess because of quantity.
So we basically just got lunch for everybody from that place, and we were spending like $30.
Yeah, I think on like the 3-day shoot, like $50 fed like 20 people.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. So we just lucked out on a lot of stuff.
We got lucky.
It was a 3-day shoot?
We shot over
how many?
5?
5 days.
I was there for 2 of them.
One day at my house. Okay, so it was one day at my house.
Pawn shop for
then
4.
3 days, and then we had a pickup day.
And we had a pickup day.
So
5 days.
So Naked Cannibal Campers, going back to that. So Chris and I have been making movies for a while, and like on Delta Pi, I think that was a 12, 13-day shoot. things were just different then.
Yeah,
A
we were
lot
just
more
shooting on
people.
weekends too back
We would
then.
just shoot on weekends. A lot more people would work for free or no money and credits. It's the scene's the independent scene here's kind of changed a little bit. Like no money, oh I'm out.
Yeah.
So we do pay, and then sometimes it's not a lot. So the way we have our movies structured, they got to be shot in 5 days because we usually have about a $3,000 budget, and that's what it pays for. We got 5 days to make it happen.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
and I mean I do like the pace. Like so, it's funny we had a DP on Cheerleader Sleepover Slaughter, Tanner Han, which worked with us on Dead Residents. Really nice guy, really talented DP. And Chris and I knew what we were getting into, but I think this guy is just used to taking an hour and a half to set up a shot. And I'm like, Chris and I are like, no, camera's rolling, action's there, go. And they got it.
I can't
they got it
stand
close.
sitting around
I don't like that
for
either.
hours just while nothing's
I'm
going
like-
on. I hate that shit.
And
What are you guys gonna do with a bigger budget then? Because
Well, a bigger budget, we would take more time, but there's no, that's the thing. It's not like we don't necessarily. Chris and I, we know our formula. Like we're the best at making our movies.
Right.
yeah, oh yeah.
So we're not like being dicks or trying to shortchange us. We know what we have to do and how we have. Like today, we got to shoot. I thought we got 4 hours.
Yeah.
We know exactly what we're gonna do, and you know what? It's not gonna be perfect, but we always seem to get better. Like in our we do it so much. It's just like anything, like playing baseball.
Yeah, it's just like
you get better
repetition
at it.
over and over.
It's like
we do the same thing over and over and over. We're just getting better and more efficient at it, basically.
Yeah, and I mean his newest movie, I think it looks great. The sound is the technical aspects of that movie for a movie that was made on the budget it was made as
In
quickly as it
4
was made.
days.
I don't know too many people who could have pulled that off.
Yeah.
We shot it in 4 fucking days. Like that's
Well, we had one pickup day.
and one pickup day.
So 5 again,
Just
5
amazing.
days.
And did you edit that on DaVinci?
We used both DaVinci and Adobe.
How did that work?
It was great. So Tanner took all the footage, went into DaVinci, color graded every clip that we shot.
Yep.
Sent it to me. I put it in Adobe, edited it, put it all together, sent it back to Tanner to do the score. Oh yeah, Tanner cleaned up all the audio and everything. Tanner did the score and kind of touched things up, I guess.
Yeah.
Rearranged some things and some weird stuff that was edited weird or whatever he fixed out. He put the score in, and then
Because I think the color grading looks great.
put the sound effects. He did the old school Alfred Hitchcock, like stabbing a watermelon, shit like that.
Mm.
Oh
He did
yeah,
some
he
Foley,
did,
yeah. So he said he spent a whole day just
Getting
kind of
Foley and stuff.
hacking up vegetables and shit.
I heard like
Um,
celery's good for breaking bones.
Yeah. So it was kind of a team effort, and I owe that guy a lot, man. Like he didn't get paid a whole lot of money,
Yeah.
and he's a
Sometimes
good-
we do
he's a
it for the
good
passion
dude,
of
though,
the film industry.
Yeah,
And I think even the little
and
bit of
that's what
money
it
that he
was.
did get, he was like, "No, man."
Yeah, and I went to pay him something. I can't. Oh, it's after the reshoot.
Right.
I went to give him money, and he was like, "No, man." I'm like, "Tanner, take the money, please." And he's like, "I'm not doing it for the money. Like I'm not doing this for the money." And I said, "You will make me feel so much better if you take this money."
Yeah, like
please."
that guy busted his ass,
Yeah,
man.
he worked his ass off. He just beat cancer also.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 months before
Yeah,
he started
was
shooting,
just coming back to normal.
and we just broke his ass for 4 days.
I was worried about him.
I
too,
was
but,
worried
like,
about it. 'Cause I was
he
looking
didn't-
at him a couple times. And I was like, "Oh
He
shit!"
never ate that much too,
He
because like
didn't
we
eat,
like
he didn't
when we
drink.
had time to eat, like he was like,
He wasn't
"No,"
eating or
I'm like,
drinking.
"Dude, you
and
need to
I
get
was
some
just-
fuel in you, man."
Yeah, he kept drinking. I brought a Mountain Dew, some new flavor of Mountain Dew, and I thought it tasted like shit. But he was drinking the shit out of those things. So
I
I,
can't
guess,
Kept him going.
I guess it was keeping that sugar rush going.
The last time I had Mountain Dew was when I was like playing video games, like in
Yeah,
a
right.
basement when I was like 15. That was the last time I.
Yeah, I've never been a
Yeah,
big Mountain Dew guy.
Well, that was for some reason they marketed Mountain Dew to gamers.
Yeah.
Like
So
so,
it's got caffeine.
It's got all the
Keeps you,
caffeine.
but I was a big Pepsi drinker. I haven't
think
actually
they
had soda in
market-
like a
I
year.
think they market to the younger crowd too.
Yeah.
Skateboarders and
Yeah.
surfers.
Shit rots your teeth, man.
Oh yeah. I haven't. I don't drink soda anymore. I haven't drank soda in like almost a year now.
Yeah, good for you.
I drink nothing but coffee or water. I mean, coffee I can't get rid of. I'll never
I'm
get rid of that.
I'm a tea junkie, man. I drink
Really?
tea like
I don't
mad
like
crazy.
tea.
I love tea.
I drink 3 things: water, club soda, beer.
Yeah. What kind of beer?
Club soda.
So I am not a beer snob. I like
Natty
Budweiser,
Light.
Yingling, PBR, like all those like funny,
I like Yingling. I've had.
It's real popular now, like the IPAs. That tastes like a bottle of cologne to me. I don't know how people like that. They're like, oh, hey, try this new IPA. I'm like, no thanks. I'm like, give me a Michelob Ultra, a Miller Lite. Like, I like just the standard regular beer.
Yeah, I like Newcastle a lot.
Oh yeah, I like.
That's not bad.
I like Killian's Irish Red if it's really cold.
Yeah.
You like
I
that,
like Warsteiner, which is a German
Dos Equis.
ale. I've never had Dos Equis.
Yes, you did.
Did I? When did I have Dos Equis?
Dude, we had a party. We had the Delta Phi party.
Oh, yeah.
And so Chris, okay, so for the record, Chris is not a drinker at all.
Yeah, I don't drink.
Like, and when he does drink, he's like 1, 2 beers max.
I can't tell you the last time I had a beer.
Probably at that party.
Me too.
It might have been.
Yeah. And I remember you, because I was like, okay, I'm bringing beer to this party. What do you like? He's like, well, if I do drink beer, I like Dos Equis. You know, I'm like, okay, so I picked some up, and you were like, that's the only beer I like. All right.
He doesn't even remember.
You don't even remember.
Michelob Ultra, I'll drink that, but for the cheap shit. But I don't know. I just don't. I haven't. I think the last time I've drank a beer was like when me and Dawn first started dating, and that was like 6 years ago. So,
Is she much of a drinker?
She'll drink wine here and there, but she. We went to Chili's the other night with my mom and Charlie, and she drank. She's like, I want to get a strawberry margarita. I'm like, okay, so let's go to Chili's. So we go to Chili's and ask my mom if they want to come, and she drank. You know, they give you in the big shaker. So she drank a whole one. And then my mom was like, took a sip. She was like, wow, this is really good. And so we were like, get another one, split it, you know? And so my mom doesn't drink, and she had like 3 sips and then poured the rest in Dawn's thing. And Dawn was like, fuck. So the next day, she wasn't feeling too hot. She was kind of like, I'm never drinking ever again.
Oh,
and she only had like 2 margaritas.
Until like next weekend, or like, oh yeah, okay.
But once in a while, she'll get a margarita, and wine, maybe a glass a week. I mean, not much. But yeah, we don't really drink a whole lot. I don't like the way I feel when I'm buzzing and I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't had a drink probably almost 2 years now. I haven't.
You work at a bar.
I know.
That's amazing.
I know.
Most bartenders are like drunk.
I worked in a bar for 14 years, and there was times where I drank a lot, and then because I started hating the customers, how annoying they were, like I'm like, well, I don't want to be like them. So I think I quit drinking for 15 months, and everyone around me was like against, like you're not going to be able to do that. I'm like, no, and I'm very when I like want to do something, like it happens.
Yeah.
But everyone's like doubting me. I'm like, no, man. I was like, I don't think I want to drink anymore. And I made it 15 months, and I got fatter. Because I would drink more soda.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I replaced beer with that, you know. So now I'm like, I mean, I drink here and there on the weekends, but I'm not like, you know. I mean, in my 20s I partied a lot more, but now it's just like,
yeah. Wait till you get in your 50s, you're gonna be like,
it's
I just want to pretty much watch TV.
And Hangover lasts like 3 days.
Yes, I remember when Hangover was 1 day, and now it's like it's a 3-day process.
Well, it used to be like a couple hours. Like you wake up. And like
slowly.
You're on the toilet, you're like,
by like noon, it's gone.
And then by lunchtime, you're like, okay, where we going?
You get into your like 40s or even late 30s, it's like a 2-3 day process now. Like,
it's brutal.
It's not worth it.
Like, why do that to ourselves now?
Yeah, not feeling it.
I mean, I work and I see all these older people. Like, how are you doing this?
They're alcoholics.
Yep.
If you do it enough,
it's amazing how many people like live to be drunk. Like that's all they want to do is get drunk.
Again, like I mean, you work at a bar. I worked at a bar. I mean, we had regulars, and that's
all they do.
That's what they do. They live.
It's amazing. Back, you know, when
but do they not get hungover? Like, do they not get that?
They
feeling?
just keep drinking.
Before I met Dawn, I was on, I was dating on dating sites or whatever, dating apps, whatever. And so I was going on maybe 2 or 3 dates a week.
Wow.
And all these girls, that's all they wanted to do was just drink. And I'm just like,
I'm at the point in my life where I want to travel more. I mean, there's a lot of things I want to see, and just sitting around all day getting drunk is just not what I'm. That's not the focus of my.
Right.
It's not a like.
It's not a healthy thing to be doing anyway.
Like, unfortunately, that's the thing to do on dates is to go out. Let's go have a drink and like.
Yeah,
Like, get to know
I don't
each
mind
other,
that, but
right.
I'm not going to get wasted.
Yeah.
You know,
Even
especially the
Bo,
first
Bo
date.
the other day was like, hey, I think you're going to date Tuesday when I get back home. And so I said, what are you going to do? He goes, we'll probably just go to a bar.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
there's no thought process.
I mean, I guess
date,
because
go
it's
to a
just
bar.
easy, you know, and it's like, and it gives you an opportunity to talk to said person.
Yeah, without having to buy a whole dinner.
But exactly, without buying a whole dinner. I remember one
I
time.
used to go out with ice cream. I would
You
ask
said
the guy,
that
you
you were
want to go
like,
to ice cream?
I
get
thought
some
that was
ice
kind of
cream?
goofy, but I'm like, that's not bad. It's like, you
Right.
know, and it's cheaper than a
Drop
whole meal.
$8.
Like, I'm from Jersey. We used to go on the boardwalk. Let's go walk on the boardwalk.
Yeah,
Let's-
I mean, the thing
let's
is,
go
in
play some
Florida,
skee
I don't want to
ball.
walk around anywhere.
Yeah.
Well,
You got to do stuff indoors.
Yeah.
At this time of year.
Yeah, I met a girl in down by Channelside. What's a Riverwalk? And but that was in like January, I think. So it was nice and cool. But yeah, that's hard, like finding things to do on a first date. So
yeah,
it
I've done
usually ends up
movies
as a
on
bar.
a date. That's not a
That's not
great thing
great.
to do because you don't like
Yeah.
talk to the person, you
Just
know.
sit there.
Yeah,
And then you're trying to watch the movie, and they're talking. I'm like, shut up, bitch! I'm
it's
watching
like
the
a common
movie.
thing to
It
do.
is good to do the yawn move though.
We haven't done that since 5th grade.
Yeah,
Put your penis in the bottom of the popcorn.
like
Who buys that popcorn?
Diner.
Yeah, Mickey
Mickey
Rourke.
Rourke.
Who
Back
buys
when
that
he was still
popcorn? though?
Mickey Rourke.
Popcorn's
I don't
like
know, I don't know.
$15.
I know.
What happened to Mickey
You just
Rourke?
spent $15 on popcorn. You're putting your dick in it.
Back then, popcorn was
Oh,
$3.
I think we just
man.
got flagged.
Dude, you go to the movies. That's another. I love going to the movies, and you know, just as a single guy going to the movies,
It's creepy.
that's not what I was gonna say. You know, the ticket is around $15.
Yep.
You know, and I like getting popcorn and a Coke. That's another $15, $20.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dropping
30
$30,
bucks
40
in.
I'm
just
dropping
by yourself.
$35. You know, plus gas. Let's rope gas in there. It's like a $40.
That's because you're an hour from
thing.
everything.
I keep telling you
To go to the
pass.
movies. I know, but I'm so. It makes sense. It makes monetary sense, but like I feel like if I do it, then I won't. It's like having a gym membership and then not going. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
Do you go to that Riverview?
Yes,
theater?
that's where when I go. That's where. Have you ever been to that one?
I drive by. I used
So
to
the
like,
GDX?
It's cool, man. Yeah, it's nice.
It's big too. I haven't been inside, but
Check it
I
out.
I don't actually. I haven't been to the theaters since before COVID. Like I just haven't really.
I go to a lot of movies, man. I'm in the movies, if not every week, every 2 weeks.
What-
Like
What's
got
the
the
newest movie
pass.
that you just saw?
Black Phone. Saw that. I liked it. Me and Chris
Yeah.
talked about it. He didn't like it. I really liked it. I thought it was cool. It was inventive. I liked Ethan Hawke's character.
Yeah.
I liked the other actors in it. I liked the soundtrack. I liked the overall look. I liked the story. I give it an 8 out of 10. And I thought
I'm like
thought it was cool.
6 out of 10.
Chris didn't like it. So funny story. Chris and I rarely agree on movies.
Same.
You know? Yeah, like, and he's told me about you. So I'm very like black and white, A and B. So like to have a third, like I think you and me wouldn't agree on movies either.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were like in another dimension. He's told me about the kind of stuff that you like, and I'm like, I don't think I like that kind of stuff either.
Yeah. I mean, I like to like open my mind when I'm watching.
I like to not think when I'm
I just
watching.
wanna
I like
sit
attention
there
to
and-
detail. Like I'm like, well,
Yeah, I don't think
she
about
just-
shit.
Fuck that.
like she just said that she doesn't do this, but then she just did
I don't
that.
want to think. I mean, I'm thinking so much during the day. So for me, like watching a movie is like time to relax.
Yeah.
You know, I want to just be like,
I mean, my type of relaxing, I just sit there and do nothing. Literally, just I'll sit at the beach, just like loaf. Like I just
I'm not a
don't want to
beach
do
guy at all.
anything.
I don't like anything outside, and I'm a vampire.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for this podcast and making movies, I would never leave the house. Like, I don't want to leave the house ever.
Yeah.
And when I leave the house, I can't wait to get back home.
I mean, you like sports. You like going to football games, baseball games.
Not anymore. I used
No.
to go to that shit all the time.
You go to
I
hockey
just-
games
I
indoors.
just don't go anymore.
I mean, didn't you and your dad go to a lot of games?
Yeah, we used to go to Bucks games, hockey games,
You-
go
now
to
you just
baseball
watch it on
games here and
TV?
there. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I've been there, done that.
I
It's
can't
so
watch hockey
expensive,
like
and it's
on
just-
TV. I have to go there live.
Yeah, hockey's definitely better live, but
I don't
it's so
mind it on TV.
expensive and
Yeah, hockey's
it's kind of a hassle to go, and I don't know.
parking, and it's
Yeah.
expensive.
And I would take my kid, but he don't live here anymore. He lives in Orlando, so it's kind of.
Yeah.
Jaden
really
doesn't like hockey.
Jaden doesn't like sports.
Yeah,
period.
he's not the sporty guy.
Yeah, he told me a few weeks ago. He's like, "Yeah, I'm really starting to like golf." I'm like watching it. He's like, "Yeah."
Oh,
Like-
that's the worst sport in the world to watch.
I'm like, why do you want to
Who
watch
wants to
golf?
watch golf?
I don't
It's so
know.
weird.
Like I play golf. Like I got into golf right around COVID. Like my dad's a big golfer, and he's like pushed golf on me my whole life, and naturally I pushed back. Like then when COVID happened, there was nothing to do.
Yep.
So I mean, I think in 2020 I played golf every week, and I would go to and I'd be talking to you. I'm like, yeah, hey, I'm at the USF golf course because it's all you could do.
Sean's funny though. He called me one day and we were talking about golf, and I'm like, "What did you?" I said, "What did you hit?" And he's like, "Oh, I hit like a 72." I'm like, "A 72? Holy shit! Like that's fucking really good."
That's professional numbers.
And that was on 9 holes.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
I'm like Randy Quaid
Oh
in
my
Kingpin
God.
when he's like, I bowled
Was it 15 frames?
300
Yeah,
on like
15
18 frames.
I
So
was
yeah, I'm
like,
not. Here's the thing. I'm
oh,
not. I mean, I've
man.
gotten better. I'm not a good golfer at all.
We should go
But
golfing. We should go golfing.
I enjoy, especially with friends. Like like I'm the kind of golfer like I can't go with people that take it seriously
Oh yeah, no.
because I'm not good enough. But like if I'm with friends and we're having a good time and bullshitting, and it's got to be the right. Like right now, I don't want to play golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's got to be cool out.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I just started playing golf probably 2 years ago.
Okay, so then we'd be a good hangout because I'm not that good.
Yeah, I'm not that good, but
But I'll go with some friends.
Yeah, like I did an assignment in Iowa, and literally all they had to do was play golf because it was just in the middle of nowhere, and they had 5 golf courses within like 2 miles. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm playing golf on my days off.
I mean, that's how it was.
And I literally did it
during
every day.
2020. There was nothing was open. Golf courses.
Yeah, well, it was
All right,
outside.
that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I used to play like every Tuesday with guys from work. We were all off on the same day, and we'd go. We'd play a different
Right.
course. We got the cancer card, which gives you like discounts on golf and stuff. And we
Yeah.
hit like all these different courses, and it was fun. But it just got to a point where it's just like I wasn't
Gave a
getting
job.
better. I didn't like it. It was too hot.
Well,
And
if
I
you
just
weren't
said-
getting better, what were you trying to do to improve? What were you just playing?
The thing was,
Figure it
I'm not
out.
going to go take lessons or
Yeah.
anything like that. I was
Okay.
trying to correct shit myself. And it was either like my long game would be great, my short game would suck,
Yeah.
or my short game was great, and my long game would suck.
I'm
It was
like
just
I'm a
I
very
couldn't-
uneven.
I couldn't get
Yeah.
them together, and I don't know. It was just frustrating.
But it's fun to
So I
go if
quit.
you're with friends. I got into bowling
it's
for a
expensive.
little while too.
Yeah, we used to do a bowling night for employees of where I work. We used to do a bowling night, and so to get more boost our morale, so I coordinated a employee bowling night I think it was Monday nights,
Right.
and it went really well. It actually for like a year, like it was.
Everybody's showing up.
Yeah. I think consistently we had over like
And I'm
10
not
people.
that great. I mean, I'm probably better at bowling than golf, but I'm not like professional at that either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I think
suck
it's
at bowling.
easier to get better at bowling the
Yeah.
more you play rather than golf
Yeah.
because like.
Well, the thing with golf, it's so mechanical that if
Yeah.
you have one little thing off,
Screws everything.
you're fucked.
And you see me I think I showed Chris my swing. He's like, "What's wrong?" It's like I can't keep my arm straight. I can't do it. So I developed my own swing that works for me.
Yeah.
Like I get the ball where I want to, but everyone looks at me like you look like a moron.
See, my swing is weird too because I was a baseball player, so I was slicing everything because
Right.
of my baseball swing.
Yeah.
So now, like when I go up, I have to go like this to counteract the slice. So basically, I cut the whole the rotation,
Right.
so it doesn't over rotate. So now it's just like this, like a different like inside pitch basically. But I have to instead of go all the way around, I have to go like this to come back down. So
Everyone is better than Charles Barkley at golf.
it's,
Have you ever seen that?
He's fucking brutal.
Go when
He's
we're done
horrible.
with this podcast.
Yeah,
watch,
he's
I'll
terrible.
pull up my phone.
And he plays all the time, and he's
He loves
terrible.
it. He plays all the time. So he'll he kind of I don't know how well you can see me. So he'll come up, and right when he's about to hit the ball, he stops, and then he hits it. I'm like, what is the point of stopping?
Yeah.
And then it's the weirdest
He's
thing in the
terrible.
world. He's like afraid to.
Hit the
He's
ball.
afraid to follow through.
Yeah.
You know.
It's weird.
very interesting.
Yeah, it's strange.
So now going back to Naked Cannibal Campers, is there plans to actually make a sequel now?
I think Chris wants it more than me. I'm kind of over it. We had the campaign that failed. I mean, the script exists, and we've talked several times about changing it and changing the sequel. I mean, if you were gonna ask me today, like I'm not interested in it at all.
Yeah.
But that might change next week.
As I said, in 3 months, hey, let's do this.
Again, here's the deal. If someone called me right now and said, "Hey, I got $10,000 for you. I want you to make that movie," I'd make it in a heartbeat. But that's really where it lies, because I'd have to put up the budget, and I'm just not. That's not where I want to be,
Yeah.
So
what do you think your best performing movie was? It was Donahue Delta Pie, or
Donahue Delta Pies reached the biggest audience and probably, I guess, Donahue Delta Pie, Escort Service, and Naked Cannibal Campers are probably the most successful projects that I've directed. I'm hoping this documentary actually reaches a decent audience, because this movie is basically not just for me. It's an advertisement for me and all my friends that make movies here in the area. We talk about all our stuff. So
yeah.
And the few people that have seen it that have gotten back to me have said, there's a lot of things I didn't know about that I learned in this documentary. So I was like, that was the point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I know you said you wanted to take some time off, but you're going to be working on some Chris movies. Chris, what do you have coming out?
We got, I keep forgetting the fucking name. We got Death Blow in August. We're shooting August 13th is the first day.
I think I like the original title better.
And then we got, I'm talking to a guy now
good for you.
About producing his movie.
Nice.
It's called Body Farm, and it's like a sci-fi horror movie, pretty much in one location. I think it's like 85% in one location.
Oh damn!
And it's about like nanites that take over a body, and it becomes like this hybrid killer thing.
Nanobots.
Nanites.
So there's gonna be a lot of CG.
Nanobites. I don't know, little silver things. There's gonna be a little bit of CGI, not a whole lot. But we're still kind of talking back and forth right now. It's got a $20,000 budget for that, and we're gonna be shooting that in December, where it's gonna be nice and cool.
Yeah.
But I need a location. I'm trying to find a warehouse, like in the middle of nowhere, basically. So that's gonna be a tall task. But once I get back from my cruise, I'll kind of go full force on it.
A cruise during COVID.
Yeah, man. Well, we were supposed to go to Europe, and I didn't. We were just too unsure about all the COVID stuff in Europe.
Yeah.
So we were like, let's just stay in the United States. So Alaska, we went there a couple years ago and loved it. So we're going back.
Yeah, I've never been. I'm done with cold. Done with cold. I want
to be where
it's not cold, man. It's like fucking perfect weather. It's gonna be like 60 degrees.
That's cold for a lot of
people. And
it's
just clean air. Like it's just, I don't know. It was amazing. That's so awesome.
I would definitely want to check out Alaska.
Yeah.
You gotta fly first.
You fly to Seattle, and then we leave from Seattle. So we're going out Friday. We're gonna spend the day in Seattle, and then the boat leaves on Saturday at I think 4. I think it leaves. So we're gonna spend the day in Seattle. Probably go to Pike's Market, hit some comic book stores, shit like that.
Nerd.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nerds to go on vacation to another location just to go to a comic book store.
It's weird. So nerds have Revenge of the Nerds happened.
Yep.
Like back in the day. I mean, you're older than me. You're a little bit younger than me. Nerds were people that wore glasses, that read comic books, that were into computers. Those people are like the cool people, and the cool people were the jocks, the guys that lift weights, that got all the girls. It's almost like it's shifted, and the nerds, I'm like, what happened there? How did that happen?
Girls decided that nerds are cool.
And I see so many times these super hot chicks with these dorks, and I'm like, what did I do wrong?
Hey, fuck you, Glee. It was because of Glee.
Okay, so I was watching Jaws 3 last night.
I'm sorry.
It's not good.
No.
But there's a scene in the bar with Leah Thompson and Dennis Quaid and some other actors. And these people, that movie I think was 83, 84, something like that. And so these people, they're in their mid-20s, early 30s, people just looked different back then. Like,
Yeah.
people were just like,
True.
men just look more muscular, and like, it just seems like when I look at people in their 20s now, they look like
Children.
children. I'm like, why? When did everyone get weak? And now, I mean, we're living in the age where like everything offends somebody. Like, you can't say anything. Like back in the day, you know, you said something, someone might got offended. You know, they walked away, or they got in a fight, and that was that. Now it's like, you said that. Oh,
Yeah.
social media, the police. We're gonna have a rally about it at 6 p.m. Like, it's
We're gonna have a
like,
mass
I'm like,
shooting
calm
about
down. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. And you got to realize we live in a world where everyone's different. Everyone comes from a different path, and people are gonna have different opinions. That's just the way it is. You know, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things that people say that I don't agree with. At the end of the day, I don't care though.
Right.
I'm like,
The problem now is
you know?
everybody expects you to think like them, and if you
it's not gonna happen.
don't, you're wrong, and you're
I'm unfriending you on
you're
Facebook.
stupid, you're an outcast, you know, whatever. And it's just so dumb. Like, nobody's allowed to have their own opinion anymore. So,
Yeah.
whatever. Don't
Well,
worry about it.
it does suck. But that's the world we live in today.
It'll change because, again, like what I was talking about in the past, now it's this, and 10 years it'll be something else.
I don't ever
you know?
remember the country being like this divided. Ever.
Yeah, see that.
You got the Dems, you got the Republicans, then you got
The vaxxers, the anti-vaxxers.
you got, you know, all the different races, all the different, abortion now. That's another thing now.
That's a
been
big
thrown on
hot
the top.
button right now.
There's just like, it seems like every week there's something different to divide people, and I don't know
Well,
if the
I think, too,
government's
because
doing it
of
on purpose or
social media, things are more
Accessible.
accessible. Like back in the day,
Right.
like the news would happen, and some people wouldn't find out about it the next day. So you have more people ingesting all this news now and being a part
Live
of it.
as it happens.
You know,
Live
so
as it happens.
there's more of a crowd now. You know that
More awareness.
exactly.
More awareness.
So.
Yeah, I mean, like with the whole abortion thing, like that. I mean, that was the 14th Amendment. That was an amendment.
Right.
Like, and so what happens when the Dems get power in Supreme Court? What if they overload it and they go after number 2 now? Because now
Right.
amendments aren't off the table anymore. Because now they can take
I'm so like, I don't know anything about politics.
yeah,
I
well,
didn't even know that you could change. I was like, okay, this is the way it is. That's the way it is.
Well,
Like, I didn't know
amendments-
you could change anything. Like, okay.
amendments
You know?
are changes to the Bill of Rights. That's why they're amendments. They're amended to
Oh,
the Bill of Rights.
Listen to what I know.
But abortion,
I failed American
the
history
right
in
to
college.
privacy and abortion was the 14th Amendment that was ratified in 1973. And then now, since now that's off the table, what stops them from changing another amendment?
Right. I think gay marriage is next.
Yeah, it is.
They're gonna go.
Well,
after that.
and they're trying to take away contraceptives.
And it's like, who the fuck cares?
Right to contraceptives.
Like, if this guy likes this
People are
guy
just-
or
here's
this
the
girl
thing,
likes
you
this
take
girl, who
away-
cares?
All the guns, all the blow, all the booze, all the condoms. You know what's gonna happen? People
all
are gonna
gonna-
make their own shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
thing is, like, if they take the guns away, guess who's gonna have all the guns? The bad people. They're
Yeah,
gonna get them in the
guns are
black
not going
market,
anywhere. Like,
just like they do
people
with
are gonna
drugs.
have guns.
It's like cocaine's illegal, and guess who has cocaine?
People get
Whoever
cocaine.
wants it.
Yeah. It's gonna be found. Like, you're not gonna.
You're
These
gonna-
things that
you
already
can't-
exist.
Just because you
They're not gonna
ban
go
something
away.
doesn't mean it's gonna
No.
go away.
Yeah.
You know, look at marijuana. You know what's happened when you're like. I remember I got only thing I've ever been arrested for
Me too.
in 2001. 2001? I think it was 2001, 2002. Ybor City. I got arrested for publicly smoking marijuana. So I got 6 months probation. I had to go to a bunch of AA meetings. Yada yada yada. So I had this.
Mine was 2001 too.
Yeah, funny. I had this. I guess officer that dealt with my case, and once a week or once a month I'd have to go meet with her, and you know we would talk about stuff, and first thing would say like, "Do you have any new charges?" And I remember like, it kind of offended me, I guess, a little bit because I'm like, I'm not a criminal, like no one have any new fucking charges, like what do you
Right.
think I'm just out? But I guess a lot of people that commit crimes are
They really
constantly, you know, this is
Habitual.
I'm like, you know, I'm a pretty good guy, like. I'm like, no, there's no new charges. Like, I go to school, I go to work, I go to home, and that's it, you know. And I smoked some pot, and you caught me, you know.
Like the rest of the fucking world.
So she went on to say, you know, it'll never be legal. It'll never have. It'll never have this. 20 years later, look at what happened.
Right.
Yep.
You know, she didn't know what she was talking about.
Nope.
So now, yeah, if that had happened now, I don't even think I would have got arrested.
Shit, I see people smoking all the time.
Dude,
driving.
so I
driving down
don't
the
I don't
street.
smoke anymore. Like I used to smoke a lot in my 20s, and like I had a bad experience and anxiety or whatever. So I haven't smoked in a long time. And like how you hear like the phrase like the people that quit like they're the like marijuana, like I smell it everywhere now, and it like it gets on my nerves. Like like it smells gross to me. I'm like I don't want to smell that shit again. Like everyone's fucking smoking weed everywhere.
Everybody.
So many people are like it's like a fucking epidemic.
Yeah.
And I'm like I
Along with
almost kind of
tattoos.
want. I'm like dude, do that in your house. Do it in segregated areas. I don't want to be around it.
Right.
That's how I feel about it.
Female tattoos is an epidemic too.
I love.
So the other night,
I love women with sleeves.
The
I
other
love
night,
it.
I'm at my
Love
my mom's, and I get a text from my friend Andy, who's letting us use his house for the movie, and he sent me pictures of all these. It was like a table or a shelf or something that had all these action figures and stuff on it. And he just sent me the pictures. I go, "Where's that at?" I was like, "That's cool. Where's that at?" And he was like, "Oh, it's some place. It was a tattoo parlor." And I'm like, "Oh, what are you getting tatted up?" And he sent me a picture, and it's his 17-year-old daughter getting tattooed, and I'm just like, "Fuck." That was my reply. Oh, fuck.
I'm not gonna go in it. Like
Crazy.
a few of my close friends, I've told them about how I feel about it. But I got a lot of friends that are into that. I don't want to piss anyone off.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to offend anyone, but yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
Like I said, I love women with tattoos.
Ugh.
Can't say I agree with that.
I
either.
love it. I don't know what it is. I just love it. Girls with sleeves, love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I don't have any tattoos at all, and I just love women with tattoos.
Yeah. Well, opposites attract, I guess. But I don't have any tattoos, and I'm not a fan.
It's not for everyone.
Nope.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us at Killer Collab Podcast. Sean Donahue, thank you for joining us. Chris Lato, Reaper Films, Tone Deaf and Florida, Tony D. See you next week. You want some head? Want some head? There's head.